Part of your diabetes management is not only having an understanding of what blood glucose level is, but also having a solid knowledge of the best way to address your blood glucose level if you are not within the desired range. If your blood glucose level is higher than it should be, the very first thing to do, step A, is check that the test was accurate. Did I wash my hands before testing? Make sure there wasn't any substance or residue on your finger, such as sugar or fruit juice, that may have altered the result. If you are sure there is not, start step B, what we refer to as the IN5+ checklist. The IN5+ checklist is an easy way to remember the important factors to consider when your blood glucose test result is high and the action that is required. In summary, it refers to intake, injection, insulin, inactivity, and influenza. First, let's look at intake. Intake refers to your carbohydrate intake. Have I consumed extra carbs today that may have affected my blood glucose level? You may have had a snack or a drink of fruit juice and forgotten about it. If this is the case and you're about to have a meal, the action required is to take the rapid-acting insulin to cover the meal you're about to have, plus additional correction. Your doctor or educator can give you a plan for what amount of correction to use when your levels are high. Secondly, injection. Very importantly, did I remember to take my last insulin injection? And did I take it on time? Did I do the 2-unit test shot to make sure the needle was not blocked? And did I avoid injecting into a fatty lump? If you did miss your last mealtime insulin and it's time for your next meal, the action is to take your rapid-acting insulin to cover the meal plus additional correction. In the case where you have forgotten to take your long-acting insulin, take it as soon as you remember, but be aware that you may need to be careful with your next dose of long-acting insulin if you are very late, as the doses may start to overlap. You can call your diabetes educator if you're unsure or concerned. Thirdly, let's look at insulin. Did I take the correct insulin? Was it in date? You also have to consider how your insulin has been stored. Temperature affects insulin. Was it left in a hot or cold place? The insulin won't look any different, but it won't work properly anymore, as it has not been stored correctly. If you're in doubt, the action required is to discard the cartridge or the pen. It's better to be safe than sorry.
I live a really busy life with a lot of distractions, and sometimes I can lose track of the dates of my insulin. I now have to make it a point of practice to check the date and condition of my insulin before use.
The fourth part of your checklist is inactivity. Perhaps you've had a quieter day than usual or have been less active lately. Less exertion can cause your blood glucose level to be slightly higher. If you have been inactive for an extended period of time, you may have gained weight. Weight gain can also increase blood glucose level. Similarly, explosive or high-impact exercises can cause a lot of adrenaline to be released and can temporarily raise your blood glucose level. In this case, it is likely to fall back to normal range without you having to take insulin. So what is my best response, or what action should I take? If you or your practitioner believe the rise is due to a long-term change in inactivity or activity patterns, or a gain in body fat, consider increasing the long-acting insulin dose and the mealtime dose.
Over time, when my weight fluctuates, I've noticed that my blood glucose levels also fluctuate. When this happens, I then have to contact the practitioner and dietitian and revise the diet plan and get things back on track again.
Our fifth checkpoint is influenza, infection, or inflammation. In other words, some sickness. These can alter your blood glucose level and you may need to increase your insulin intake until you recover. If that's the case, best action is to start your sick day plan. For further information on sick day planning, please view the video produced around this topic. Our last checkpoint in the IN5+ is the plus. As we know, when we are sick, we often take medication to aid our recovery. When living with diabetes, you must be aware that some medications may influence your blood glucose level. For example, prednisone and cortisone injections, as well as chemotherapy drugs, have the capacity to change your levels. If you have been prescribed any other medications and you have concerns, the action you should take is to speak to your GP, your diabetes doctor, or your educator to get advice around adjusting your insulin. But certainly don't cease taking any of those other medications without such consultation. To recap, N5+ refers to intake, injection, insulin, inactivity, and influenza or other causes of inflammation. And don't forget the plus, the influence of other medications on your blood glucose levels.